January 26, 2009. Sorry, slight senior moment there. And my video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. And if you're familiar with the format, my videos are all about recovery from addiction. And for me, recovery is one day long, simply this one day we have today. And since yesterday, I've been feeling quite a lot better and trying to put myself first in recovery, which simply means making sure I do all the right things. And you can't change the world overnight, so there are parts of me which I would like to change and remain changed and be better and happier. But as we get some dings and knocks along the way, we can't actually do anything about some changes which are just irreparable. And my situation is okay today. So I'm in recovery from alcohol addiction. The other addictions probably were to behaviour. Workaholic, trying to be perfect, never so. And it's so easy to keep on trying to be compulsively good. And the trouble is, when we're compulsively good, we're in a mode of judging the rest of the world and not judging ourselves by our own actions and deeds. And sometimes we may wander off the point and become so judgmental that we want to tell another person what is good for them. And the difficulty is, as soon as we start that merry-go-round of trying to do something good for another person, or suggest there is a better way for them to behave or be, then that judgment is trying to control another's behaviour. And behind control is fear. And behind fear often is love unconditionally of another person, but at the same time so worried that they may do something wrong or continue to hurt themselves, we feel we must intervene. And it's called a process intervention by some people, or by intervention processes by others. And these can be from simple, you know, when you do this, it does that, through to, I reckon you're an alcoholic and you need to do something about it. So however we hear these messages from those who love us, often we don't actually hear the message. All we hear is the criticism, which drives us underground and makes us do more compulsive things, like compulsively hiding what is going on for us, and not being able to listen to or avoiding those people who love us so much they will tell us the truth. And the absolute truth is, as a person tries to tell another what the truth is for them, all they need to remind themselves is, please let me share my truth as I see it, my truth about my concern and how I feel. So when we're in judgment mode, maybe the only place we can start is with ourselves. So my judgment this morning, how am I feeling? I'm not feeling too bad actually. It's been a bit of a difficult, few months or even a year. And a year has gone by very, very quickly, and I'm very glad to say I had a relationship in recovery, that is, me-woman relationship, and gratitude beyond measure that we succeeded in doing some splendid things and learning a hell of a lot. But you know what, towards the end we burned ourselves out, I suspect, and started to get worried about this, that and the other. And I cannot even catalogue the number of things I could have been worried about, or she could have been worried about for herself and for me. So the gift is, if we're in the here and now, we're in a better place of understanding. In the here and now, we need not fear anything but what we fear from the past, or what we anticipate as fear of the future. And that book, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, with all sorts of practice exercises, is very helpful. But I'm not going to go into that today, because I won't have enough time. But what keeps me sober is the fellowship of AA, one day at a time. There's one 24 hours, and sometimes by the minute or the hour, I need to cling on to the truth of now, that I'm okay enough. If anything happens, I can do something about it. So, clinical depression, type 1 diabetes, whatever else I have, quite a few disorderly parts of me which I cannot control and I'm powerless over. So AA, I go to meetings. I went to a great one last night, and at the beginning of it, this is the preamble that is said. I don't speak for AA, I speak for me, but the preamble helps me get back into this one moment of now, the very important moment of now when I can make some choices. So it says here, Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So the primary purpose, stay sober and help other alcoholics achieve sobriety. And that doesn't mean I go around saying, this is the way to do it, this is the way to get sober, you alcoholic you. It's me talking about my experience, strength and hope, and what keeps me sober on a daily basis. And we had quite a lot of newcomers in our meeting last night. That's the Flood Street evening meeting at 7:45 when it kicks off, but there's tea available from 7:30. And you know, people coming into a room of people not drinking when you've only just stopped maybe an hour before, or you're still thinking about it, or for example, people come into our meeting and they're still drinking from their Lucozade bottle or their fruit juice bottle or their special cup of coffee they've got from the coffee house, which is laced with something extra. None of my business, but this happens. And the gift is, if people just keep on coming back, they hear and see how other people have got sober. And that's the gift. And when I can't get to meetings, or I want to actually settle down and get my mind somewhere into the here and now, I come and do a video about recovery. And why do I do them? Because it helps me more than anything. I need to put myself first, or I cannot share my experience, strength and hope with anybody else. And once I'm into a mode of being sober a day at a time, then I can keep on sharing how it goes. And I don't know how long I'm going to do these videos, but we shall see. Daily Reflections, a very useful publication by AA. Again, I don't speak for AA, but it's got lots of good things in it. And for January 26th it says rigorous honesty. Who wishes to be rigorously honest and tolerant? Who wants to confess his faults to another and make restitution for harm done? Who cares anything about a higher power, let alone meditation and prayer? Who wants to sacrifice time and energy in trying to carry AA's message to the next sufferer? No, the average alcoholic, self-centered in the extreme, doesn't care for this prospect, unless he has to do these things in order to stay alive himself. So part of the story is to share experience, strength and hope as best we can, and for me in any medium. And I go my way on this, not the AA way. I am an alcoholic. If I drink I will die. What power, energy and emotion this simple statement generates in me. But it's really all I need to know for today. Am I willing to stay alive today? Am I willing to stay sober today? Am I willing to ask for help? And am I willing to be a help to another suffering alcoholic today? Have I discovered the fatal nature of my situation? What must I do today to stay sober? And you know, if I drink I die. And there's several ways of dying before you're actually physically dead. And you know, I talk about emotional, spiritual and physical well-being. So if I drink, my emotional well-being is disturbed. If I drink, my spiritual understanding of the here and now, my real connection to now, where spiritual is real life happening really for me, without as many denials and filters that I can put in with drink, then if I go back to drink, my spiritual and emotional nature, which is developing nicely, thank you, very, very slowly but nicely. I'm starting to understand me and my life for the first time in 52 years, and what a relief that is. But if I drink, I lose the plot, and that's the real danger for me. And you know, who wants to be a zombie, one of the walking dead? I don't. And Group and Worldwide Community, which is the reading in this book as Bill sees it, I don't know if I've got time for it. I'll just cover the first half. It says here, the moment 12th step work forms a group, the discovery is made that most individuals cannot recover unless there is a group. Realization dawns on each member that he is but a small part of a great whole. That no personal sacrifice is too great for preservation of the fellowship. He learns that the clamour of desires and ambitions within him must be silenced whenever these could damage the group. It becomes plain that the group must survive or the individual will not. And you know, my recovery is not dependent on one group of people, but it's dependent on community, society and civilization, and a very good health service besides. And I go to many groups of AA, and we meet each other in different places as well. So it's not just one place, one group. Often it's our part in more than one group, and family, society and whatever else it is we do. So the gift today is, I'm not one of the walking dead. I'm getting some spiritual and emotional nourishment just one day at a time.